To my YouTube presentation, Present Using Skype. Simple and easy instructions for speakers. There's also a version for the facilitators. You might want to have a look at that as well. Today we're using Apple Mac equipment, and other devices would operate in a similar fashion. You could use a Microsoft laptop, you could use an iPhone, a smartphone, a tablet, iPad, etc. My name is Court Brooker, and let's get right into the criteria. Speak via Skype at minimum cost. There's lots of different ways to do this, but this is probably the cheapest and most effective, and it is great quality if it is leveraged in the right way. Use the current Skype version when you're operating, and we'll get into how to do that later on. The version that we're using here is 7.6 brackets 409. The computer device should have the most recent software as well. Apple updates their software for free, and there are many advantages to having the most recent software. Relatively simple to do too. What do you need? Well, your own active Skype account, a computer device with Wi-Fi or cellular capability. I don't think you'd want to do a long meeting on cellular unless you had a really nice plan, because it would be fairly expensive, so you'd probably be better off handling it via Wi-Fi. An office in some quiet space, could be anywhere, and also to be conscious of what's behind you. You don't want too many distracting things when you're speaking, especially if it's a large group. Want most of your top portion from shoulders up to the top of your head, fill the screen with that. Steps. Connect with the potential facilitator, and usually via Skype and telephone to begin with. Practice at least once prior to the live session with that facilitator. Practice with friends, family, or colleagues as well on the side. Start an hour prior to the live session to connect. If the meeting starts at 7 o'clock, tune in at 6 o'clock. It gives you a chance to refine any things. You may have to reboot a computer or something, but if you've been practicing, things go really smooth. Skype with a facilitator to test the equipment prior to guests arriving. Once you've got it all set up, don't hang up and reconnect again. Just leave the call active while the guests arrive. You can do a few things. You can actually watch the people file in. You can hear them if they haven't turned their microphone off. Test the audio, test the video. Camera focus. If you're using a webcam, focus the camera. A lot of people do not do this. And a lot of webcams have a focus ring, manual one around the outside that you can just turn, look at the screen, and tune yourself in. Big difference. The most inexpensive webcams have pretty good clarity. You can watch and hear guests arriving while this is happening, and you're basically ready to start once you've done that test. Well, how do you get there? On your screen, if you had a Mac, you would see the Skype icon. If you don't have that icon, and we're assuming you've signed in, you've got an account, everything is tickety-boo. Once you've got that, you should have an icon on your screen. If you're operating on a Mac that looks exactly the same as that, you click on it, and then up pops the login name and password. That's where you'd do it. If you didn't have an account, you would create an account at the bottom of this window. You can see that right there. Once you've logged in, at the top left-hand portion of the screen, there's a drop-down box. You would click on Skype, and then About Skype if you wanted to see what version you have. If you have an old version and you haven't accessed Skype for quite a while, you might as well just click right on Check for Updates. It'll check your version. If it's an old one, it'll give you an opportunity to update it. It does not take too long, and it's best when you're presenting to make sure you've got the most recent software, both ends, facilitator and yourself. If you'd clicked on the top version here, About Skype, you would have got this window, and it tells you your version right there, 7.6. That is a situation you may call a facilitator. I usually recommend the facilitator call you. But if you haven't received a call, you may want to try to call him. When you log in, you're going to see a window similar to this, maybe not that same hamburger or the food company that advertises there, but you'll see a list of your contacts down there, and at the home button on the up on the left. Now that's your picture, that should be your screen, and when you want to find your contact, you click up there on the contacts and you find the contact. In this case, if it was me, you'd point and click on that window, and then up pops this little drop-down box. You could click right on the video call and it would start to, that's the drop-down arrow, but if you clicked on the video call, it would start ringing for me. If you've got this contact in your system, you've added the contact when you were doing your pre-work, you could add phone numbers, and you can phone different people on Skype, but you do need money in the account or a plan, so you do have to pay. Skype to Skype calls are all free unless they're groups, and then you need money in your account. You pay in and top it up. In real time, it should take about 3 minutes or less to get to this point, depending on internet and device speeds, and of course the comfort that the facilitator and speaker have. The more you use this, the quicker you're going to be. Here's what you see as a speaker and some things needed to know how to help provide a productive session. You should have closed all windows. I don't mean the windows in your house. Well, of course, if it's raining or snowing out, yes. But computer windows, except Skype and the presentation program. For instance, if you're using PowerPoint or some other program, you leave those two open. The presentation program should be open and at the beginning, the start of the presentation, ready to go. You could have the following: a notepad, pen, phone, focus webcam, Wi-Fi, water, Kleenex, comb, all within reach. If the facilitator calls you, you get a window something like this with the facilitator's name on it, and there's a picture in there if he puts that in his profile, and all you have to do is click on it. In this case, you click on the video camera. That means when he or she connects, they're going to see your picture, and you should see his as well. In the event that this was somebody else that you didn't want to see, you can click on the red button and hang up on that person, and you could also just click on the telephone and not get video. But of course, for a Skype meeting that you're presenting at, you would want the video. Once you've clicked on that button, after a few seconds, it'll take a few minutes to connect and maybe a little gurgling, but you'll see the group live there. You'll see the facilitator's picture there probably, and depending on how he set up the camera, you'll see some members of the group or all. I've drawn a few stick men to represent the group back there. And of course, as a speaker, where you see speaker down here, you would see your own photo, how you're appearing. You might want to adjust the camera at that stage. I've got some busy background there, but probably a plain background would be best for you, and you can adjust your camera at this point if you need to, and it may have moved. So anyways, that's sort of the critical point. You're basically getting pretty close to starting to speak. Once they've connected, you're set to go. You can click on conversations at the top, and you know, on the, just before we move on, the screens on the facilitator sides are reversed. You want to show your slide presentation. You want to show a video. You want to show the group your screen. So you click on conversations at the top there. Up comes this drop-down box, and then you click on share screen, as you can see that last arrow pointing to. Once you've done that, the screen is shared, and when you see your own screen, you toggle over to your PowerPoint in this case. You can do that by Command Tab and toggle the switch over till you get there, and then operate your screen the way you normally would. Speak to the group, do whatever, pause, they'll see your PowerPoint presentation. You can also toggle back to the Skype page, and they will see that. But once you're finished, ready to go, you click on the conversation again at the top of the screen, and then you'll notice that where it says start sharing screen, it now says stop sharing screen, and you click on that and the screen sharing ends. Meeting is over. Hopefully that is enough to get you started, and using the help screen, practicing, you'll become a pro in no time. This is relatively intuitive and a great mechanism to spread the word, share information, share resources at a very minimal expense. Everybody can have access to it. Thank you very much. Would love to have your feedback. You can do that on YouTube or at Brooke@shaw.ca. Love to hear from you either way.